This is a real source-backed look at Claude connecting to Autodesk Fusion. The clip is short, but the shift is big. A coding-style agent loop is now moving into CAD. Before we get into it, the local angle matters too. Tools like Conductor OSS at conductros.com are built around the same idea for coding agents. Keep the current setup, run the real agent CLIs, and stay fully local while the web dashboard coordinates the work. Now let's look at what Autodesk and Anthropic actually shipped. Anthropic framed this as Claude for creative work. The official announcement says Claude is getting connectors for creative tools, including Autodesk Fusion, Blender, Adobe, Ableton, Splice, SketchUp, Affinity, and Resilium. The exact Fusion claim is simple. Designers and engineers with a Fusion subscription can create and modify three-dimensional models through conversations with Claude. Autodesk's own blog adds the key technical layer. Fusion MCP connects Claude directly to the Fusion environment, with guided access to geometry, constraints, and relationships, while execution stays grounded inside Fusion. That is the important distinction. This is not just a chatbot describing a CAD model. The promise is an agent acting against the tool that owns the model. The first demo beat is about placement. Claude shows a prompt asking it to look at a design in Fusion and arrange the keys properly on a keyboard. Then the UI shows Claude reading project skills, checking orientation, searching available tools, and invoking Fusion MCP execute. The source frame says the assembly has 1,235 components. Later, it says all 87 keys have been moved. Then Claude catches a coordinate issue around the PCB transform and component offsets. That detail is what makes the clip interesting. The polished marketing layer is obvious, but the visible text is not just a vague promise. It shows a loop that reads context, acts in Fusion, inspects the result, then keeps debugging the geometric placement. The second beat is inspection. The video cuts to the line, see inside your designs, then shows a request to move the main components vertically and create an exploded view. OCR from the source frames names the stack: bottom casing, backplate, keyboard PCB, top plate, and the keys and key switch assembly. Claude says it will separate them along the Z-axis with roughly 30mm gaps. This matters because CAD work is not flat text. It has layers, reference frames, constraints, coordinate spaces, and part relationships. Autodesk's blog says the same thing directly. Design work is built on geometry, constraints, and relationships. If Claude can inspect those relationships and ask Fusion to move real components, then the agent becomes part of the design workflow instead of a side chat window. The strongest demo beat is the bottom casing. The user asks Claude to focus on that part and hide the other components. Then Claude gives design feedback: add edge chamfers or fillets, increase wall height, and move toward a tray-style case. After that, the visible text says Claude knows the shell API and will rebuild the case as a solid block with fillets, shell, internal fillets, standoffs, a USB cutout, and rubber foot recesses. The Fusion viewport then shows a new dark casing with rounded edges and internal details. That is the actual story here. The workflow moves from inspection to critique to a concrete modeling operation. It is still something an engineer must review, but it is much more useful than an assistant that only writes instructions for a human to copy. Autodesk is careful about the limit, and that is good. Their blog says generating an idea is not the same as producing something real. Manufacturable output still needs engineering rigor, precision, domain data, and expertise grounded in Fusion. The Autodesk news post also separates action from understanding. Fusion MCP enables action. Fusion Data MCP enables understanding. Together, they let teams connect Fusion to internal systems, automate routine work, and query design data across projects. That framing is more credible than pretending the model is magic. The right mental model is an agent with bounded tool access, using the CAD system as the source of truth, with the human still responsible for review. Zooming out, this is part of the same movement happening in software agents. Claude, Codex, Gemini, Cursor, OpenCode, and GitHub Copilot are all becoming real workers inside existing tools, not just answer boxes. That is why the local orchestration layer matters. Conductor OSS keeps those agents in their native terminal surfaces, works with the existing setup, and runs fully local while the dashboard manages routing and review. For this Fusion launch, The practical takeaway is clear. The winning agent integrations will not replace expert tools. They will connect to them safely, preserve their context, and make the repetitive parts of expert work easier to move through.